Hi, everybody. So I just wanted to jump in here because I wanted to make sure I was sort of communicating where everything is for me. So to take a step back without fully diving into the backstory, which you guys can tune into from either the podcast, which I'll link below, or my YouTube channel where there's a few other videos as well. Also link that down below. But I've been going through a grieving process. I've been going through a grieving process of just a change in my reality, really. A change in my physical reality, a change in my spiritual reality, and a change in my emotional and mental reality. So I was dealing with the grief from the heartbreak of the acceptance of that change. And so where I'm at now is I'm still moving through it. There's still waves. I still get sad. I'm still processing it. So it's not like I'm like, oh, heartbreak's completely gone. I'm totally fine. Definitely still an emotional roller coaster going on. But I'm realizing the higher perspective. Like I'm realizing what this grief and this anger and this sadness and this heartbreak for me is all about. And I've been very grateful to tune into a conference over the course of the last few days called Practicing in the Midst. And there were just so many amazing moments in that conference. It was live, which I really loved because I felt like I had the ability to. My hair is going to drive me nuts here. I wish I couldn't see myself. I had the ability to tune into um, the energy of not only the people presenting and hosting, but also everybody gathered. And that has been such a powerful practice for me recently is the ability or what I feel tuning into the collective energy. So there was that, but there was just so many moments within the conference or the summit, I think is what they were calling it, where I just felt this deep knowing of what this is all about for me, what this grief and anger and heartbreak is. And there's this woman, Aisha Salem. I mean, I resonated with pretty much every single person in the course, but her particular session, like, really hit home on a super deep level. I'll link her website. I've quoted her quite a few times in my blog post, but she talks about how there's this black light of creation, the black light of the belly, I think is what she likes to call it. It's the feminine aspect of creation. And it's about the unknown and the uncertainty and relinquishing control and honoring what is and releasing those things that don't serve us. And it's about diving into the abyss, right? To then create and allow and rise, right? To create and be born anew. So it's like the death of the old, which is and the creation and rise of the new is how I can only think of describing it. So on a like spiritual level, that's what this time is about. It's like the death of, and I know death is a very dramatic word, but it's like the transformation, the evolution of the Maria that I was, which involves a huge release of not only my identity, I'm still me, don't get me wrong, but just a huge release of things that don't serve me, to then really rise and be present here now, right now in this moment, um, into a deep knowing and a loving and an honoring of who I am. So how this really looks, I know that's a lot of sort of ether talk. So how it actually looks, though, like what it means, she's Aisha summarized it as moving from the head to the heart to the belly. So I think this will help make it make sense for you guys. So for my own life, for the last 30 years, I lived in my head. I had moments of authentic, heartfelt connection where I connected to there's something more than me. I'm, there's a greater picture here. There's something greater, right? However you define it. Um, or even within relationships with others too, you know, that moment of authentic connection. There were definitely moments of it, but for the most part, I lived from my head, which means that I was caught up in my mind. So trying to figure everything out, trying to plan for everything, trying to analyze everything, trying to be in control, really is what it boils down to. And then judging myself and getting mad at myself and beating myself up when I inevitably realized how not in control I was, or something would happen, right? So it was like I lived there in my mind trying to control my reality for, oh, the majority of my life. And then I moved into the heart. And there were still moments of weaving in between the mind and the heart, but it was like learning to live in alignment between the two of them. And what that means is thinking of my heart as not just a physical thing that exists in my body, but like something that I can really tap into, like a loving guiding force that is always present and always there and always exists within me and always wants to remind me that it's there and that I'm loved, and um, that it can be a guiding force and is currently a guiding force in my life. So it's less about me trying to figure things out, like the living in the mind, and more like tapping into the love that I feel within myself, um, and living authentically from that space. And the thing I would say there too is that's not always like the positive, right? It's just loving everything, loving me. And so then what? So that's the head to the heart, right? So learning that the heart is something that you can tune into, that's always there to sort of help to remind you of who you are, right? So that's where I moved, head to the heart. This time right now, and why I've experienced so many shifts and changes and heartbreaks and angers and fears and anxieties and what have you. And there's also been moments of joy. There really has. I mean, moments of joy and awe. There's been tons of those as well. So it hasn't been all um, you know, the uncomfortable stuff. There's also been moments of, wow, I can't believe this is actually happening and I'm conscious and awake and aware and able to experience it. Like there's been those moments too. But what I'm realizing this time is I'm moving from the heart to what Aisha calls the belly. And she calls it the black light of the earth, the black light of creation, the black light of the feminine. And that is about embodying, right? So not only realizing that I'm more than just my mind, right? And which is what happens with the heart, right? It's like then taking all of that knowledge and all of that connection that I've experienced. So the heart is what I call going up and out. You know, you connect to more, you connect to God, source, Allah, Jesus, so many different names, but you connect to the fact that you're more than you, than this individual thing, and there's so much more to all of this than our physical beings, right? So that's the up and the out. And then the down and the in, so dropping from the heart to the belly, is what's going on for me right now. And that's taking everything that I've connected to on a sort of spiritual level, but then really embodying it. So how does that show up in my life? It's I'm learning to be in the here and the now. So it's like I'm really being present for myself right now in this moment. So how am I feeling right now? Right now, I'm a little tired. I'm a little hungry. I'm excited to go upstairs and hang out with Rachel and Gregory in a little bit. I'm grateful. Really, that's right now. I'm feeling grateful for everything that's going on in my life. But there's other now moments where I'm sad. Yesterday I was sad, or a couple days ago I was really sad. I was lonely. I was deeply longing to be held, and there's waves, there's ups and downs. And so for me, the down and in is about living in my present moments, but being with exactly how I'm feeling. So if it's grateful and joyous, which is how I'm feeling right now in the current moment, then that's amazing and I'm embracing that. But if it's, sad or angry because I don't feel seen, like that's happened this week too. It's being with that emotion, and I've realized that I connected to the fact that like I was using alcohol to not deal with my pain. Um, I realized that a while ago, but then what I've realized in the last couple of days is I've also used busyness. It's like I'm gonna dive into this, or I'm gonna like study this, or I'm going to finish my book, or I'm going to, it's like I kept doing to avoid the being, to avoid the being with whatever actually really authentically wanted to be felt, heard, and seen in my given moment in time. And so the down and in, the belly, going from the heart to the belly, for me has been a practice of really being and honoring exactly how I'm feeling, even if that feeling is like, bad or negative, right? So it's like I'll be with my sadness, or I'll be with my anger, or I'll be with my pain. I don't identify myself as anger, pain, sadness, but I'm not denying that I'm sad or angry or heartbroken. I mean, I don't feel that way in my current moment, but that doesn't mean I haven't felt that way earlier this week, right? So it's like I'm actually being with those emotions. And through the practice of being with them, I found that they just want to be seen. They just want to be held. There's an aspect inside of me that's like angry or pissed off because she feels abandoned or rejected. And she wants me to see her and hold her and not judge her and not say, don't feel this way or whatever. Like, she doesn't want me to fix her. She just wants me to be there for her, to be with her. So from the head to the heart to the belly is about the being, right? It's about the embodiment practices, the being present in the current moment, and the being with whatever I'm feeling. And also, the other huge part of that is there's also anxiety that goes with this too, because it's a shift, and it's an acceptance of there's so much I don't know. It's the mind wants to control, the heart knows that there's more, there's a bigger scheme of things, right? So it releases that control. The embodiment, like the belly, is it's a grounding in of both of those things, but it's like a making peace with the unknown. It's like getting into a dance and learning to love the unknown because of the possibilities that exist within the creation of the unknown. And that's not comfortable, or at least it's not comfortable for me. I want to know, like, where am I living next month? Like, where's home? What's my, future income gonna be? Like, am I going to be in a relationship? Like, I want to know. But that's the thing. It's not about that. I can't control that. It's about um learning to love um the creation process for, and be in the uncomfortable and discomfort, to allow it to transform, transmutes, and emerge, I think, is a good way of putting it. So that's what these last few weeks have been: a breakdown on in the physical level with relocating from London to Seattle, to a breakdown on the spiritual level with the epiphanies that I had from a intellectual understanding of what it means to be in the present moment and actually really learning to live in the present moment. And then a breakdown in my mental and emotional realities as I'm sort of, and this is where I'm still navigating it, navigating this particular relationship in my life. But for the first time, when it's emotionally really heated and charged, I'm not running away. I'm not running away, which is huge for me. So from the head to the heart to the belly is what this is all about. And getting to know and love, not only all of me, but to use Aisha's words yet again, the black light of creation. So lots that I'm still processing. So hopefully some of this was clear and you guys could get a grasp of what I'm trying to capture and what my journey currently looks like, as I'm sort of feel like I was dealing with grief and I'm now in the abyss, right? It's like it's the cycle where you go down and up, and I'm like in the abyss, waiting to see what's ready to emerge. Okay. It's a lot. Sending love and light to you guys. Take care of yourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. And I will speak with you soon.